You're going to see the Samsung Galaxy S4 tomorrow.
Cool. I'm going to get Well Jelly, probably.
I'm just going to tell you, yeah.
I chose to get some jeans and stuff instead. So
You made a really bad choice.
I probably did. But
You don't understand how I'm in love with this one. It's 1080p screen. What the fuck?
That's quite amazing.
Fuck! What the fuck?
What's up, people? Welcome to the GSC Podcast. I'm your host, Louchy, joined by my fellow co-host, Johnny.
Hello.
Co-host number 3, Jamie C.
Hello.
And rounding off the hosts, Gianni Spagnoli.
Hello.
How are you guys doing this week?
Bloody lovely.
Good. Don't know what I think about being called a co-host.
Co-host?
I don't want to take any blame for this. This is yours.
Fuck off. You guys are just as to blame as I am, alright? Johnny, what have you been up to this week, dude?
Holy shit, that came fast.
Sorry, did you want some time?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Tales of Exilia.
Tales of Exilia, what a game.
Still. Wait, did we talk about that last week? I'm getting
We probably
confused,
did, but that's a big game. It's big enough for 2 podcasts.
Just been playing that. Also, downloaded the old Spec Ops The Line, didn't I? For the PS Trizzle.
Oh,
It was
sweet.
free.
So this is like the second viewpoint on the podcast, because Jamie hated it.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. It's a bit. The gameplay's fine. Like, I think because it's free. I'm like, oh, actually, this isn't bad. If I paid £40 for it, I might have been a bit what. But no, it seems fine. The graphics seem cool. A lot of environmental stuff. Gameplay seems solid, fine. Story's interesting. I don't know what's going on yet, but yeah, I think it's all right.
How far into it are you?
Played for like chapter 10 or 11.
That's probably quite far. I never played it, so I don't know. But a lot of people sing the praises of the story. Are you seeing what they're talking about?
I don't think the big reveal's happened yet, or because at the moment it's just very confusing. And I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? What's going on? Well, no, I can see why they're doing it, but I think there's going to be like a big reveal later on or something. But I'm letting you know how it goes. Yes, it's all right. Not bad for free. You can't really complain if it's free.
Oh, it's sweet, man.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. Tales and Spec Ops.
Cool, man. Jamie, what have you been up to this week, dude?
Apart from working, I did manage to fit a little bit in there. But luckily the game I've been playing is quite a nice pick up and play. So we've had DuckTales Remastered out this week.
Awesome.
Oh,
Straight
nice
on there
review.
Super jelly, man. How is it?
I mean, you'll get to play it. Come around and have a go. I think going back to it now, so what I did, I sat down one day and I played it through, and it's not very long. Just, play it, enjoy it. And then I think I've gone back to it again now, this week, and I'm playing bits and I'm remembering them.
Yeah.
And I think more so because I switched the music back to the 8-bit original when I played it today. So that brought a few memories back as well. But it looks beautiful. And I think if all 2D platformers looked as crisp as that, we'd be spoiled, really, wouldn't we? But no, it's very nice. I was a bit disgusted to see it's more expensive on the Wii U and it came out a bit later. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get it on the PlayStation.
Wait, what are we talking? How much different?
Oh, no, only £1. But when the game's only a tenner anyway, it's like, why is there the extra pound on top? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's
Didn't understand
very
this.
strange, man.
And they got it 2 days later, yeah.
Madness, man.
But I picked it up on PlayStation. Yeah, like I say, if you get 2D platformers looking this good and playing this good, then why not? There's a few issues with the control, but then they would have just been considered normal when you were playing it on the NES, really.
Okay.
I guess they just haven't quite got that right over to the new port, but it's smooth, it's funny still.
The biggest complaint that I've heard online regarding that game is the cutscenes go on too long.
Yeah, so I played the first playthrough, and I just did that as my run through. And now when I'm playing, anytime there's a cutscene, I just quickly skip it. That's it. You're fine. You can skip them now. I think it's because the text box still goes up as if you're playing on a NES, and it's annoying. It's so slow. But yeah, I mean, it didn't really annoy me enough. I'm surprised it's been picked up on online as a massive thing, but But no, it's fine.
I'm still jelly, man. It's on my 2 playlist, but I've been so busy playing other things, I just haven't got time for it right now. But that was one of my most anticipated titles this year, man. So it's nice to know that you don't hate it. That gives me some sort of confidence in it.
Like I say, I've got these memories of playing it before, especially the Himalayan level. I remember that one quite well. But no, it's not going anywhere, is it? You might even get it on the bloody PlayStation Plus subscription at some point.
Maybe.
Never know.
I would rather give them my money though at this point, I think.
Yeah, do it, because then it means they'll convert more games, and I want to see Goof Troop brought over from the SNES. I want to see a HD version of that.
Goof Troop on the SNES. That was an amazing co-op game, man.
That was fantastic. Yeah, playing it 2-player. Otherwise, there's no point. Bring it over, please. Let's have it.
Sweet, man. Was that all you did this week?
No. I don't know if you guys caught me on Twitter talking about it, but I really want to see people catching this show now. So Pendleton Ward, who made Adventure Time.
Yes.
That bit of a background on that, it would have been on like the Frederator show on Nickelodeon. So this guy, Fred something, he's got his own production company. They made some like random cartoons years ago. Adventure Time was back in 2008. And then they made a short for this thing called Bravest Warriors. And now it's actually had a complete series, but it's a YouTube like web series.
Okay.
So it's, imagine like Adventure Time animation, just a bit more souped up and spangly, and then with some of like the galactic Futurama humor, and like merged together. It's really good because Adventure Time for me wasn't really aimed at children, and now it's become that cash cow that will work for children.
Yeah.
Whereas this, 2 minutes into episode 1, they've got people flipping the bird and talking about sex. So it's like, that's not going to get swung over to children. But no, I caught the whole series 1 in one sitting. It's only like 11 episodes. And if they're that short, just do it. Catch it. Bravest Warriors.
What's the average runtime per episode? Because I might just marathon the entire thing later.
Seriously, very short. Pilot is 7 minutes. The rest are only 5.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll do that.
Fantastic. There are characters that they introduce that you just... It's just insane, and some of them are up there with the Adventure Time stuff. I mean, Ice King for me is still going to be the best character he's ever made. But
fucking awesome, he is a really good character. Ice King. Can we just agree that Ice King is the best character in Adventure Time?
Yeah, I think more so as the story progresses and you realise how sad his background is. So sad.
So sad.
Yeah, poor Simon.
But
spoilers,
yeah, man, for people that haven't seen that far.
All I said is poor Simon.
All right, true.
Doesn't hurt. But yeah, that'll do for me.
Okay, cool. Janny.
Hello.
Do you want to get started talking about the Final Fantasy 14 beta?
Well, I was going to do that at the end because then it's going to link into yours, isn't it?
But it's one of the only things I've done, man. All right. you can tell me whatever else you've been doing this week.
Right. Okay. I'll rattle through the rest. Well, something I'm going to talk about in a bit was I raised everything on my Vita memory card and downloaded all the games from the Mega Pack, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And also, I've been playing L.A. Noire. I picked that up again, and I'm really enjoying it. It's still a brilliant little game. Not little, actually. It probably cost them millions of pounds. But yeah, I just forgot how good it was.
I'm probably on the other side of the spectrum for this then. I know a lot of people liked it. I really didn't like it at all, though.
What did you like about it?
It felt like they were onto something good, but they ran out of money or they ran out of time, and then they just didn't populate the world that they'd made. So there was just the story itself, and that was pretty much all you could do. There was no real side missions or anything, but they still gave you this big wide open city to play in.
There was...
And you can't run people over.
Oh, I did the other day, actually. Yesterday.
It's not even that, man. It's not even like the chaos and stuff that's missing. It's just things to do, like side missions to do and stuff, which just aren't there in that game.
And I can't speak for the free-to-play bit, but there are side missions where when you're in the car, they say, they'll say there's a disturbance here or something, and then you can go to it and do a completely different mission to the one you're on. And they differ between each section as well. So the ones for, say, traffic are going to be different from the ones in Vice. So it's not like it just happens after a certain amount of time.
Can I jump in on that point? I just want to add something there that you're saying. That was the bit that got me, because you're constantly on a mission, aren't you? Like, there's always something going on. So that kind of stopped me from wanting to divert and, go off and do the side missions. How have you found that?
Well, the thing is, I think the first time I played, I didn't do any of them. I was like, I'm doing a main mission. But now I'm come back to it, I actually realise you do bits in pockets. So you investigate a house, and then the story doesn't continue until you get till I don't know, to go to interview someone else, for example. So for me, it's when you're traveling between, you can choose. You don't have to continue straight on with the main story. You can do whatever you want because it will wait around.
Right.
So yeah, for me, I just pick and choose when I do them. I think I'm doing a more completionist anyway, going through this. But no, I suppose you guys are right though with the sandbox, because it is a sandbox game. But it is I mean, I agree. It is extremely linear. You can't really do other things apart from those.
I was probably a little bit unfair to it a second ago. Its actual story missions are really good and really compelling, and the motion capture that they did for the faces was fantastic for the time. Like, the game is good, but I've been spoiled by other open world games, and the fact that it has an open world map but doesn't have anywhere near the content that these other open world games do makes me feel like it's missing, even though it was probably never supposed to be there to begin with.
Well, that criticism, that criticism of the open world map, do you think maybe like you see the Rockstar name on the box and you're so used to the Grand Theft Auto series having that, whereas when Mafia 2 came out, nobody ever criticised that open world and you didn't do anything in that?
That's true. That is true. Maybe it is just getting an unfair rep because of the Rockstar license, or the Rockstar brand rather.
I kind of agree. I mean, there are some things they could have done, taken from GTA that they could have probably. But I think they probably didn't want to go too crazy in case there was quite inconsistencies with the time. So yeah, with GTA, because it's quite modern, they can do pretty much whatever they want. And it was always supposed to be a bit filmy, almost.
It's in the title, isn't it? It's an homage to film noir crime stories.
Yeah, and they bundled it with LA Confidential.
It's a film I haven't seen, so...
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before, but they're very similar story-wise. They're very, very similar. I think LA Noire is actually heavily based on it, if I remember rightly. But the one thing I was going to say actually, and I mentioned this earlier in the week, was the face capture stuff is fantastic. Like, the animations are just amazing. But they're not the best I've ever seen, because Enslaved came out 6 months beforehand and just blew everything out of the water. And I remember when I played LA Noire, I was actually a bit disappointed because they weren't on the same level.
That's Ninja Theory's strong point, isn't it, though? Like, the facial capture and making a believable character. That's what they do best.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's not a fair comparison because they're totally different games. And Enslaved was much smaller and a lot more linear as well. But yeah, I mean, it just... I don't know. When I was playing it originally, I just thought if it had the same... Especially as you're supposed to use their facial expressions to make a judgment of whether or not they're lying or not. And it just... Yeah, it was always a little bit difficult of whether or not to doubt somebody or they're a liar. There was a bit of a grey area, and I'm struggling with that at the moment. But looking back, I think I was a bit harsh on it. I mean, it is still a fantastic game, and it is one of the best looking. So yeah, I mean, that's what's taken up a bit of my time in the past few days anyway. And
you can find that game. You can find that game dirt cheap now, and it's usually popping up in Steam sales as well for about £3.50. So
yeah, I think I bought it for a £5. So at Game or something. So yeah, I mean, that's on PS3. So yeah, this is a very good game.
You picked it up for a £5. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's a very very good game for not a lot of money. I just wish Heavy Rain was lit cheaper than £20. But yeah,
cool.
So going on to Final Fantasy.
All right. 14. First thing I'm going to say, I'm just going to preface it with, I haven't been able to get into an MMO really since Final Fantasy XI, and this game is very different to Final Fantasy XI. It's much faster. It's quest based rather than grinding based, which I think is awesome. And I can see myself wasting a lot of time in this game. It has story missions that have got me invested in the game already, even though there's no dialogue tree like there is in the Old Republic. I care about this world more already after only doing up to level 20 in the beta.
Well, I think anybody who's interested would want to know what's the difference between now and when it first came out. Because I shunned it when it first came out.
All right, so when it first released, Final Fantasy XIV, Johnny and I both picked up the collector's edition, and we played that game for about 7 days, give or take, and there was literally nothing to do in it. That game came out barren, and there was nothing to do at all. There were some story missions that didn't feel like story missions. They felt like betas for story missions or alphas for story missions. Like, you didn't know what was going on. There was some talk of some people getting attacked, and then you'd see some weird cutscene which just looked like gameplay with some text boxes over it. It wasn't impressive in any way. And outside of that, the only real questing system was the guild lev system, where you take your little quests and go and hunt some monsters, and then that would be it. That was basically what the game was revolving around. Johnny, do you remember this, yeah?
Yeah, we were trying to fool ourselves, saying, "Oh yeah, this is pretty cool." Like the opening cinematic and stuff was really cool, but then I think got like the first area, started playing, it just wasn't fun. Everything was really slow and clunky, and it just wasn't well designed at all.
You remember where we started in that Limsa Lominsa place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went back there in Realm Reborn because I started in a different city, and it's completely changed. It's very different now. The layout and stuff is the same, but now it's like in instances. So whereas before you were able to travel around the entire city and there was no loading screens, right? So you could go straight from the bot, like you could run into the town and then run straight up the top to the pub, and there was no loading screens or anything. Whereas now there's different instances, so there'll be upper Limsa Lominsa decks, lower Limsa Lominsa decks that you zone into and stuff.
Is that better?
I think it is, man, because I actually don't have a reason for thinking it's better. Really, it's because it's closer to Final Fantasy XI, and that makes me like it more. Really, I don't know. I don't know whether I think it's better or not. Actually, you've put me on the spot now.
Hang on, do you mean better from the whole? Yeah,
the open world of the town probably was a better thing, but it's more directed now. So you know that certain things are in certain areas rather than just saying it's in Limsa Lominsa. You can say it's in upper decks or it's in lower decks. So that makes things a little bit easier. But that might be just me apologizing for it not being open anymore.
I see.
But the actual surrounding areas outside of that place have completely changed. Whereas before it was just an open field. Do you remember that?
Yeah, very barren, very just, the same texture.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sort of.
Now, that area is just the bit directly outside the gates, and there's different zones that go off into different areas, and one of them is like a mountainous area that leads into this really amazing like ice cave thing, ice structure, which was awesome, and some other like dotted around towns and ports and stuff around the area, which is much better than just the barren field that was there before.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm trying to sell it, but there's so much that I want to say that it's all coming to me at once.
But I think
so. We had a big problem. We have quite a big problem with the combat. That was very slow.
The combat the combat is much faster, man. Almost to the point where I think it might be broken.
How come?
So I have like TP or like tactical points. I'm assuming it is for doing special moves, but the special moves cool down so quick, and the TP restores itself so quick. I'm never in any worry of being out. Like, I can spam all of my special moves as soon as they appear, which is almost consecutively. So I'll be doing special move, special move, special move, special move, and my TP is just rebounding back up, so it's not even close to being away, or to draining. So I can just do that non-stop all day, and I feel like, what's the point in it being there if it's just going to regen that quick?
I'm sure they're going to patch it, or like later on. I don't know, we'll see. But it's way more responsive, and it's actually fun now, is it?
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot faster and a hell of a lot more fun. There's a really, really cool random... I say random, I think there's certain ones in certain areas, but almost like... do you remember in Guild Wars, there was certain events that just happened in an area and anyone could run in and get involved.
Yep.
So they've got those in there now as well, called Fates, where certain things will happen and everyone can run in and get involved. And if your level's too high, you can like level sync down to do it, even if your level's too high for the event, which is awesome.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, just like Guild Wars too.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet, and they work perfectly, and are really good sort of alternatives to questing if you want to just level up through combat.
So do you see quite a lot of characters on screen at once, like other players?
Yeah, tons. Some of the Fate things are just insane, especially the ones early on, close to the towns. I'd imagine that's going to change because obviously it was a beta, so everyone was starting fresh. So there was a ton of people around the low-level areas.
I see.
But some of it didn't tank my frame rate at all either, and I was playing the PlayStation 3 version, which is surprising.
Yeah, that is surprising.
The PS3 version doesn't look as good as the PC version at all.
Obviously. Yeah.
There's quite a few jaggers and stuff on it, but it still looks amazing. Janny passed off a comment to me whilst we were playing saying that some of the areas look better than a lot of games on PS3 at the moment.
Wow.
So, yeah, the graphics are still really nice.
I put that down to art direction because, they usually are pretty good with that sort of thing as well, I guess.
It was really strong. The thing I want to know, though, because I never played WoW, I want to know from Janny how it compares to WoW.
Well, this is the thing. It's a bit... I don't want to say it's better or it isn't, because I've only played up to, level 18? And it was the beta. So, until I've played the full game, it's a bit difficult to say whether or not it is better, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I didn't want to put it down, and everyone said it was going to close at 4 a.m. or whatever, 9 a.m. in the morning, and so we put it down. I logged in the next day just to double check and it was still on. Immediately text Ben and said, "Get your ass back on it." And we played all the way up until whenever it finished properly. And I wanted more.
Danny, he was hooked, man. He was like a crackhead.
Yeah.
He was like, "Are you sure we got to log off now? Are you sure we can't just stay on?" I was like, "No, we should go back to the inn, man, and rest." And he was like, "Nah, man, I'm going to log in about an hour just to see if it works still."
You know, I actually did as well. But the thing is, it's answering a lot of what Final Fantasy fans want, and you've got the chocobos. In fact, Ben, you what did we find? We found the Malbras.
Yep.
In there, they had massive ones, and they looked really intense battle or something. We were way too under leveled by that point.
Johnny, let me put it in perspective. The Malboros were about the size of a 4-story building. We found them in this giant forest, and we were just stood around them looking up at them. They looked amazing.
That's some big cigarettes.
But the cutscenes are awesome, and I like the fact that the main storyline, it seems, most of it's all solo. When I was playing, you go into an instance, I had to quit the party. It was a little bit annoying. I had to keep coming out of the party just to do it. But it means that you don't have to rely on instances, like massive group instances. They're more optional, and which something that I had a problem with Lord of the Rings with, because I got to one point and I had to be in groups of like 8 people, whatever, and it would take hours just to find a group, and I put that down. Played WoW, and it gets to a point, and then it's the same thing. And I didn't like WoW as much as Lord of the Rings anyway. So I'm a little bit strange in that sense. Maybe it's because I played one before the other, but I think they're coming up to a good point, because I think WoW's in decline as well at the moment. So refreshing it to get it on the PS3 is a big step, I think, and it plays so well with a controller. I couldn't actually believe how easy it is. So
just to carry on from that, I know I shouldn't have been impressed by it because DC Universe already kind of did it, but the fact that it was a full PC experience MMO on the PS3 felt really good, and it was genuinely really impressive. It is the same game that you would get on PC, and I kind of felt like DC Universe Online was maybe a little bit watered down as an MMO. It didn't feel the same as other MMOs did. but this one is just pure MMO experience on the console. It's fantastic.
Really?
But it can be as simple as you want it to be, but there is a lot you can do. And there's like a class system plus jobs. And am I right in saying you can unlock a different class, Ben, or like a hybrid class?
No, it's the way it kind of works. You make your character and you start off by picking a class, and that class can be either any one of 5 different melee classes or 3 different mage classes. But you're not limited to just that class, because once you get to level 15, I believe, you can unlock all the other classes anyway and switch at any time just by changing your weapon. And then as you level those classes up, once you get to level 30 with one of them and 15 with a second, so it's like a specific class level system, you can then unlock a job. So I'm playing Pugilist. So if I have a level 30 Pugilist and a level 15 Lancer, then I can unlock the Monk job, which is kind of cool. It's like a tiered battle system. Almost.
Fucking hell.
Sorry, is that blowing you away, Jamie? Is that a bit...
I jump on Goombas for a living. I don't know what you're on about.
I guess it is kind of bullshit when you look at it from outside eyes, but it's almost like a reward. It's a reward thing where like you're leveling up this one class, but that's not all there is, because then you can unlock this job which is separate to that class and then level that up as well, which I think is pretty awesome.
Well, I think that's where it differs to others as well. The other ones, you'd have to start a whole new character again. You'd have to start from zero and build yourself up again. Where this one, you can just you have to start from zero, but you're still the same character. It's not a completely different character, so it's quite handy in that sense.
Also, I know you mentioned it earlier, but Final Fantasy XIV, when it first came out, didn't feel like a Final Fantasy game at all. Johnny can attest to this. There was nothing Final Fantasy related in that game, really. You see a crystal in the intro, but you didn't really see chocobos. There wasn't any Moogles about or anything like that. It was just some sort of medieval fantasy game, right? Did you feel like it was a Final Fantasy game, Johnny?
Yeah, it was lacking in everything, to be honest.
So it's like they looked at that this time and just said, shit, we didn't really put a lot of Final Fantasy stuff in here, did we? And then they fucking rammed it out the ass full of every Final Fantasy thing you can think of, man. So you can ride chocobos at level 10. Chocobos are everywhere. They're in every town. There's Moogles in every town. Straight away, in one of the first cutscenes we played for the weekend, there was a Magitech armor, people wielding gun blades, people that look like the judges from Final Fantasy 12 and stuff. Tons of airships all over the place. It just looked awesome, man. It's like they're actually capitalizing on it now. There was an area called Costa del Sol as well, which I think is an area from Final Fantasy 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think from what I looked at, it was by name only. It wasn't like they'd taken. I think they've just used the name, but yeah, it's little touches.
It's a throwback, and there was also an issue before where the monsters you were fighting, the enemies you were fighting, were just random things created for the game, so like little rats or little dodos and stuff. And I think they learned their lesson on that as well, because they brought in some more memorable monsters closer to the cities, like cactuars and stuff, which I think is much better, because you want to be fighting those legacy monsters from the games that you've already played. That's the whole point of a Final Fantasy MMO. You want the ideas and stuff put forward in those games in an MMO space, and that is what Final Fantasy XIV and Realm Reborn delivers. Fantastic, basically. Check it out. It's dirt cheap. It is a subscription game, so you are going to be looking at £7.50 a month to play it.
Yeah, well, because I bought the old one, I actually, obviously we own Final Fantasy XIV. I just need to find out how to sort of upgrade my old game.
I'd imagine there's going to be a rather hefty update, or you're going to have to maybe download the new launcher from the website, and then you'll be able to launch it using the game disc that you already have.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try and find out, because I'm trying to search it up, but it doesn't seem very clear. I mean, yeah, I can't find out. But yeah, I'll have to look it up, and yeah, I'll jump on with you guys. It'll be fun.
You should, man. Be good. Whilst I was playing it, I was trying to record it, but unfortunately my capture card only records really crappy standard definition. It doesn't record HD. So the game kind of looked like us. So I was just going to do a character creation video of making a character, and I did put one together, and it was okay. I made Janny in the character creator, and he looked all right. I tried to upload it, and the upload time was like 500 minutes. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. What the heck? 500 minutes. So that's why that didn't happen. I'll probably put one together using... Well, when the game launches proper on Saturday for the early access customers, I'll do it again using Fraps to just capture a HD version of it, and then it will look a lot nicer, and hopefully I can encode it properly and upload it in a time that doesn't take a whole day.
Yeah.
Cool.
I definitely, excited.
You fucking sound it. Cheers.
Yeah, just... Do you remember when DC Universe came out and you guys were like, yeah, come and play it with us because it's like DC and it's all that you'll get this MMO experience. And I got into it and I was like, yeah, let's do this then. And then you guys just wouldn't stop doing the fucking Running Man dance. I was like, no, I want to play. No, but we're dancing. We're dancing. Look at us, Jamie.
That's definitely not going to happen again in this game because DC didn't have a strong story, though, did it? It had missions, but the missions weren't really story-based.
It was a bit skew-if, wasn't it?
It
just left you to it. You didn't really know what was going on.
Whereas this game, you have a purpose. Your character has... He acts in the cutscenes, and the cutscenes are voiced, so people are talking to you and stuff. It's just all around better. It's the game that should have been released a couple of years ago. They shouldn't have released it in the way it was. They should have held off and made this... And it's a shame because a lot of people are going to give it a miss now due to the bad taste the last one left. Whereas for all intents and purposes, this is a different game.
Well, I just wonder how many people are actually going to remember the old one because I actually forgot. Nobody had said anything about it for so long. I actually forgot it was it wasn't built from the ground up, which is weird.
Maybe that's for the best, man. If people do forget. But anyway, enough about that fucking fantastic MMO. That's all I did that week, by the way. All I did was play the beta, and it was awesome. Let's move on to current news. Gamescom happened.
Holy
wow. Still happening, but we've had the main shows, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've had the conference.
Yeah, the conference is
over and done with.
Did you guys get any information?
Should we go through it?
I think we should.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do Microsoft first then, because that's the way I've written it on the paper.
Right, go for it.
So what I thought would be the easiest thing to do with Microsoft would be just that if I start spouting out the names of the 23 games that they have for launch,
yep,
then you stop me if you want to talk about them. Yeah?
Okay, go.
How's that sound? Because we're going to have a little bit of news, not on all of them, just a couple of them. Okay, so launch titles, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Don't we have anything else to say about that?
Sorry, are we talking about the Xbox version?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
no, carry on then.
No? Okay. Maybe later with the other one. Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Battlefield 4. Exciting new videos from them. I don't know. I didn't really see much more. I know I'm already buying it, so I kind of maybe wasn't paying attention.
Well, hang on, let's just talk about all the... I suppose we should do the multi-plats together, right?
Yeah.
You might as well kill them now, yeah.
Yeah, because with the Assassin's Creed 4, did you guys see the remote play with the Vita?
With the Vita.
I was so happy with that.
They didn't perfect.
They didn't show the transition, which is a bit sketchy. I would like to see how it actually worked, like pressing the buttons and stuff. But because they didn't show it, they sort of like had one guy playing the other one, then like suddenly switched feeds to the Vita, so they didn't show you the process. But other than that, yeah, it played flawlessly on the Vita. Looked fantastic, looked really nice. That's something that I would definitely use.
Yeah, for sure. And apparently, 90% of PS4 games are going to support that or something?
Yeah, if that's honestly true and they can pull that off, I'm going to be a very, very happy user.
Yep.
Well, they said a while back that if a PS4 game doesn't support the Vita, it's got to use their camera. So they're sort of telling everybody they have to do it, which is quite interesting, especially if you're a Vita owner, because it means you're future-proofed already, which is nice.
I wonder if the PS4 version of Final Fantasy XIV is going to support it. No, I'm not going to derail it. Sorry.
I would be so happy. Should. Oh my god.
That'd work.
And 15 though. Final Fantasy 15. Imagine that playing that on your Vita.
I wouldn't want to. That game looks fucking beautiful, man. That game is full screen treatment all day.
Yeah, true. But just having the option would just be cool.
I don't have to play on it though. It's just got to support it somehow. So it'll be inventory or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, very excited, very happy. Sorry, Jay. Yeah, you guys can carry on now.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just wanted to mention that. That was cool.
So the Xbox One launch lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts.
1 second. Whilst we're on Battlefield, sorry.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
They went into a little bit more detail on how the whole big mega destruction events are going to take place, right? So in a game, one neutral bomb will spawn, and whichever team gets to it first has to move it towards the enemy's objective, and then that will completely change the playing field. So that is actually a little bit disappointing for me, because I thought the building that came down in the first trailer was just due to damage.
Yeah, it was.
So, like, the building was just taking damage, and that's why it collapsed.
It was.
I think it's more likely that that building was brought down because the enemy team brought the bomb to that building.
Well, in the interviews, they said it was because all the structural things were taken out.
Yeah, maybe it takes longer to do it just using tanks, but when you get the bomb, you could just do it insta.
I hope so, because that's actually quite disappointing if that is the case. I'm hoping that you can just bring those buildings down that way, but otherwise, I don't know. It's not a game breaker. I'm still buying it, obviously. It's my shooter for launch, but I don't know. It's kind of confusing. They might want to address that. Sorry, carry on.
No, carry on. No. But yeah, the other shooter at launch then, Call of Duty Ghosts, don't really care about it, but all I know is they've now got the usual Prestige and Hardened Edition pre-orders available, and if you buy them, you are a sucker.
There's one quick thing about Ghosts. It's going to be for 360 to Xbox One and PS3 to PS4. If you buy it on launch, because it's at the beginning of the month, if you want to upgrade to the next gen one, which is coming out at the end of the month, that you pay £10. So I have a feeling it's going to be digital buys only, but I think it's a nice little touch. So you can get a month's worth of play. Then when your new gen console comes in, you can upgrade for a tenner, and you can continue playing with the next gen experience. So that's quite cool, I think.
It's not bad at all, because that kind of would be the price difference. You know, you go from a £40 to a £50 or so on. You know, not too bad.
Yeah,
it's going to be those that want it early. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, Crimson Dragon.
Crimson Dragon is basically Panzer Dragoon, right? It plays like it. Is that going to be a Kinect game?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Haven't really looked into a lot. That was the trailer they played at E3 where the sound cut out and everybody just laughed the entire time.
Yes, that's funny as hell.
It looks like Panzer Dragoon.
I care about. No, I don't know. Then go for it. I'll move on. Dead Rising 3,
which is
we all know that one's making me sad.
Isn't it?
It's just making me sad because I can't right now justify a £430 console on top for one game. So I'll wait. But it's going to be there. It's going to be one of those games I'm just looking at from a distance, like sweating and looking at it, all funny. Like
I'll be right there sweating with you, man, because I want it too.
Or just find a friend that will buy an Xbox One. They're bound to buy it, and then you can be like, "Hey, let me come over and play."
I don't want to nut bust on somebody else's stuff though. But yeah, they had an interview with Capcom regarding the game as well, just to clarify that it isn't a timed exclusive. There is no way this game will come to other formats. It will only be on Xbox One. Sad times.
Sometimes.
But yeah, I guess one of the big bits of news coming out of Gamescom so far, and it definitely owned Twitter for a while, was the FIFA 14 news.
Yeah, it's being bundled with every European Xbox One, correct?
As long as you pre-order for launch.
Ah, okay, so it's pre-orders only. But that's still a very strong move by them.
It's massive, yeah. I mean, I started to consider this. I thought, well, I'm buying FIFA 14 on the PS4. That's going to be £55. Do I maybe then want to get an Xbox One and treat it as if I'm getting it for that much cheaper? But I was like, nah, fuck it. It's an Xbox One.
I did some maths about this, and I went to the three main retailers that you can get them from. Now, the difference between them would have been about, I think, if you were to price up a PS4 with FIFA 14 and an Xbox One with it for free, there's still £30 to £35 difference. Now, I was thinking, oh, it's great. When I first read it, I thought that's great news, for Xbox One. Then I realised for like an extra £5-10, I could get it on PS4 and have a year's membership to PSN to play online. So it's almost
that's the other factor, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So as I can see why they've done it. It's a great move, but they need to do a little bit more because it's still too expensive. In my view.
I completely disagree, man. I think that has secured them a fuck ton of sales. One of my friends wasn't planning on getting an Xbox One and has now just straight up said, "Look, I'm buying one now because FIFA's free." That is the only reason that they've
It's a
decided
fantastic move for them. It's an absolutely stunning move. I was talking to Gianni on Twitter the other day. If they do this, the amount of sales they potentially lose on FIFA will be massive. But then you look at the amount of suckers that are going to keep buying Ultimate Team stuff on there now.
Yep.
They're going to probably, over the FIFA 14 lifetime in this first year, they're probably going to buy at least 5 times the game's worth in like Microsoft points. Well, they're not points anymore, are they? But they're going to do that. They're going to spend so much more.
Yep.
And they've just opened up and had more of an opportunity now.
No, I mean, it is a great move. But as I said, I thought I'd do side-by-side comparison. And for me, I mean, I don't as I said, if I didn't care about which console, then I'd probably still go with the PS4 because it's still a bit cheaper and I can play online. When I buy online, I'm still cheaper in that sense as well. Just a head-by-head like that. But yeah. I think a lot of people might oversee that and go, "Oh, FIFA 14 for free, I'm getting this," and then realise they've still got to spend another £40 to play online.
Jenny, fucking Sony Defense Force.
No, seriously.
No, that's good market analysis. He knows what he's talking about.
It's consumer. This is all for the consumer. Just saying, just don't get too hyped up about FIFA 14 being free, especially if you're buying a PS4. Because
it swings and roundabouts, though, right? Because ultimately, you do need PlayStation Plus to play online as well. So,
but this is my point. You that's a gimme. So you're still paying £30 more to buy an Xbox One to play FIFA 14 online.
That's true.
So, yeah. You know, that's my point. But it is still a great move because, as I said, for people like me and you, Jay, we'd probably, if we had an Xbox One, we'd probably buy FIFA 14 anyway, eventually.
Well, so. people aren't gonna. A lot of people aren't as smart as you, Johnny, and they're not gonna look at the differences. They're just gonna see that it says, "What, FIFA's free? I'm getting that then."
Well, this is the point, and a lot of people who play FIFA buy an Xbox. Well, a lot of my friends, they'd buy an Xbox because it was cheaper. They bought FIFA every year, and they got COD every year, and that was it. They didn't have any other games. So
an observation I made is that FIFA players do tend to be Xbox, and PES tend to be Sony.
Really, because
I've seen that a lot.
I tend to see a lot more people playing FIFA on PlayStation. I think the numbers support that as well in terms of sales.
Yeah, but then the sales of PES in recent years have been like one copy of PES to every 20 FIFA. So it's harder to see it overall now. But when we first went into this generation of consoles that we're in now, if I knew people playing PES, they were playing it on like Sony. And if they were playing FIFA, they were playing it on Xbox.
Speaking of PES, quickly, do you think for them to... I think the biggest problem with PES is they've tried to go head-to-head with FIFA for years on like... or it seems to me anyway, it's marketed on graphics and playability. I mean, I think they should just come out and say, look, this is a more arcadey experience, it's a lot more fun, you know, it's better for the masses. Because to me, if you trying to teach somebody how to play FIFA nowadays, I just want to rip my eyeballs out.
PES is an art form. PES is a beautiful game. We are derailing a bit, but what's the new Metal Gear Solid engine called? The Fox something
Fox
one.
engine, yeah.
That's what PES is running from this year.
Really?
I pre-ordered my copy today. I'll just get it in there. Right.
Bloody hell. Pre-ordered loads, Jay.
Back to the primitive. Right. Fighter Within. Don't even know what that is.
Fighter Within
That's
is
that fucking Kinect one.
Yeah, an Ubisoft Kinect fighting game because Fighters Uncaged did so well on the last Kinect that another fighting game like it had to exist.
It's going to be a glitch fest, isn't it?
Bastard.
If it works, it could be cool. Because Kinect 2, a lot of enhancements, it could actually work. Let's not be too cynical.
I just want to see how many people go in and buy it again and just walk up the till and go, yeah, I need to buy it because I used to be a fighter myself, you know, I used to buy it. How many people do that when they buy that game?
That's true.
God. Was that a UFC that came out, isn't it?
I don't know. All of those games, they come out of the woodwork. I used to be a fighter. That's why I play these games.
Until I got my injury, I was going all the way to the top. Yeah. Fuck off.
Fucking hell.
That's took an arrow to the knee, didn't I?
Oh, Forza Motorsport 5.
Yeah, Forza Motorsport 5. Johnny, anything to add?
Not really.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, like, this is supposed to be, like, I was like, yeah, let's do Xbox first. The only thing I want to say about Forza, though, ends up being a fucking comparison to Gran Turismo 6, which is coming out on PlayStation 3. So it's like, I'm just going to keep derailing, aren't I?
Well, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. Let's just address that. Why is Gran Turismo 6 coming out on PlayStation 3?
Because they've been making it for 10 years and just forgot to upgrade it.
Probably.
or because they spent the 10 years on the engine. They thought, well, we're gonna have to get at least 2 games out of this.
Have they actually finished upgrading all the cars in Gran Turismo 5?
No, it's going to happen as you play.
Because no, seriously, most of them released. There was about 1,200 cars in the game, 300 of which were premium cars that actually look good, and the rest of them were just like high-res PS2 models.
Yeah,
And they said they were going to work on upgrading them.
Yeah, I think the
Didn't even
thing
have
is
an engine.
they spent way too much on it, too much time on it. They had to release it at some point. But I think they're making an adaptation for the PS4 using what they've got, and then so it's not. I can't imagine they're going to do a complete overhaul for GT6.
I mean, it's not a problem
Sorry, 7. I
because
should say.
like the PlayStation 4 is going to have Drive Club, which is going to fill the void for the Gran Turismo there. So
They must be livid with the fact that Drive Club is
Free
is
to
on
your
there for
PlayStation
free.
Plus, yeah.
and the fact that it's going to be free, or a tooled down version of it is going to be free to every Plus subscriber on launch.
Just repeat what I say.
Did you just say that? Sorry, half the
just
time I
said
just tune out, man.
Yeah,
you
half
just
the
said it
time I
louder.
just tune out. Just Dance 2014. That's next. That's happening, apparently.
Okay, well that's going to be probably the best Kinect game again because it was before.
Wait, so how many we got
No.
Kinect games there? 3.
That's Just Dance. Dance Central. It was the best Kinect game. Just Dance was a pale comparison.
Yeah, so sorry, just talking about Xbox One. Is that the 3rd Kinect game we've got as at launch, or is that the 2nd?
Crimson Dragon, Fighter Within, and then Just Dance 2014 is the third.
Is the 3rd? Okay. I imagine the others will have some sort of Kinect thing.
Well, yeah, every game.
throw it.
Yeah,
can.
they're all going to have Kinect features.
I remember
Right.
Forza 4 had like where you can just sit there and look like an idiot with your hands driving, nothingness, just
What was-
wanking off 2 men in front of you with your hands to steer.
What was the thing they coined? That phrase they coined on Forza. I can't remember what it was.
It was like wank shift or something.
Oh, it was. That's gonna bug me now. It's so
Privatar.
Drivatar. That's the one.
Drivatar, yeah, that's never
Oh.
mind.
That slipped under the net this time. Anyway,
Just
Yeah,
Dance 2014, no one cares. Killer
Right,
Instinct.
no, they don't. Killer Instinct is next, right? So, Killer Instinct, you, as we already knew, you start off with one character for free. The initial game then is free, and then if you want extra characters, you have to pay for them. I didn't see the price for individual ones, but I think it's only like £17 for the whole set, something like that.
Which isn't too bad. What I want to know is when you get the game free to play, do you pick which character you want to get for free, or do you just get the mascot character?
What if it's like a gacha ball machine and you don't know?
That would actually be really cool if it
That
was.
would be because I'm derailing again, but that's what's happening with that new Pokemon game that's just come out on the Wii U. You have to you can buy the gacha balls in the shop, and you don't know who you're getting. You take it home, and that's your new character in the game. Like, fuck's sake.
Okay, well, I don't see this on the running order, but did you guys see the trailer that I sent you about the Pokemon Red and Green anime that's starting soon?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you watch the trailer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the rest of you?
Haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna.
At the end of the announcement trailer for that on the Pokemon show in Japan, there was a screenshot shown of a HD Pokemon game, which looked like a Wii U Pokemon game, and I don't think it's been announced yet. That's the only thing they've shown, but it could be a new sort of Battle Revolution or a new Pokemon Stadium for Wii U, which could be awesome.
Oh, it's gonna end up being Pokemon Ranger because then you can use the gamepad to trap them and stuff.
Maybe, but it looked really impressive, like really nice HD Pokemon battle scene. like in a city as well. It was like 2 Pokemon facing off in like a shopping area. It looked pretty cool.
I'll have a little butchers, so I will.
Probably should, and you should probably check out the Pokemon Red anime that's going to start. It doesn't have Ash, and it follows the games.
Oh, that'll be good. That actually will be good.
Anyway, where were we?
Lego Marvel Superheroes. There was a new trailer that came out at Gamescom as well, and it made me squee a little. I'm happy. I'm getting it. You get an Iron Patriot Lego figure with it.
I haven't watched the trailer. Does it just look like every other Lego game, or is there certain differences?
It's similar to the others. They'll follow stories. I'd like to see it have arcs, like it'll do an X-Men story, it'll do an Avengers one, and so on. And then there'll be stuff that puts them all together, or maybe like a new Avengers section of it, and so on. Be quite nice to see.
That would be.
I'm really looking forward to it. There literally are hundreds of characters in this game, and they're all ones that you will recognize and love. So it's not like in Star Wars where you had about 50 different versions of R2 droids, you know.
Well, they're in a good position to get money from me as well, because our the Titans Comics that own the rights to Marvel and DC in the UK are rolling out the Avengers versus X-Men comics at the moment. I believe they start next month. So I'm going to be buying those and then probably bumming Marvel for a couple of months. So there's a good chance I end up buying it as well, man. So don't worry.
Good stuff. Jolly good. Loco Cycle. Nobody cares. Madden, nobody cares. NBA 2K14, nobody cares. NBA Live 14, nobody cares. Need for Speed Rivals, does anybody care?
Nope.
Wait,
No.
which Need for Speed Rivals is this?
Need for Speed Rivals.
No, but I'm asking which number, because there's been a couple, hasn't there? Is this number 2? The second time
Rivals
they've used Rivals?
Yeah, it'll be the second time, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
The
that's
first
a
one went
game.
down really well.
That's happening. Peggle 2.
Peggle 2, man! That's quite exciting. Peggle is fucking awesome. I don't know if it's good for Xbox One, but you don't understand how many hours I've lost to Peggle on my phone. Peggle 2,
I honestly think if they're going to give away stuff for free, that should be in there for free as well. How can they charge people for that? Arseholes.
Definitely. That might convince me to get an Xbox One before the end of the year if Peggle 2 was free. I'm not even kidding there either.
You are a douche. Power Star Golf.
I can smell the Connect.
Probably. Rise, Son of Rome. No.
I don't know. It depends. At the moment, it looks like a QTE fest. If they can show me that it's not, then maybe that would be worth playing.
It's Crytek. Ooh.
Ooh.
Right, Skylanders Swap Force. Just another addition to that, but this time you get to like mix and match your characters.
So they can sell twice as many.
So you can get like half Squid Man, half Booby Elf Lady or something.
Did you?
Well, I'm sure that's in your
purposely put
DVD
that together
collection, isn't it?
like
Yeah,
a
that's in
hentai scene.
I love the way you go straight to hentai.
When they make the beast with 12 legs or something. Right. Big one, Watch Dogs.
The big dog.
Please. The big dog. Oh dear.
Watch
Dogs.
I think we can agree that this is the number one game on both formats for launch, right?
I'm just going to be scared of living after that game. I'm going to worry that people are actually hacking me and stuff. It's going to be really terrifying.
I can't wait. I'm well excited to see what they're doing with it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Ubisoft don't really let you down when they do that big one.
I think it might be a little bit of a disappointment after everyone plays GTA 5.
Ooh. Shout though.
I
It's a
don't.
good shout.
I don't at all. I think it's going to be a very different feeling game.
No.
I think Watch Dogs is going to be closer to LA Noire than it is to Grand Theft Auto. There you go.
Yeah, and everyone was disappointed with LA Noire because it wasn't GTA enough.
Yeah, but this game is
People are
setting
complaining
itself out to be GTA.
I don't know. Anyway, this is what I think. It's going to be cool though.
You know,
I'm going to get Watch Dogs. I still
When
want it.
Desmond comes out of the Animus, and then you think that game could expand and be something. It's almost like Watch Dogs now.
They left it too long. I thought it could have been something after I played Assassin's Creed 2, and I thought maybe the next game should just be a Desmond game in the future. And then there was fucking 3 more games in Animus timeline, so I'm done with Assassin's Creed. It can go die.
Can I just quickly put a side note thing on?
Go for it.
Is Assassin's Creed 3 the free PSN Plus game?
They said next month it's coming for free.
Okay.
But that's
Alright.
perfect because that gets you playing it. If you haven't already, it gets you back in line ready for the new one.
I suppose I'll give it a download and play it.
Yeah, hopefully that copy won't glitch out on me and break every 5 fucking minutes, and I might get attention.
Well, at least it's free this time, so it doesn't really matter. You don't feel like you've been shafted from behind.
Oh, I'll always feel like I've been shafted from behind with Assassin's Creed now, but no.
Just with Ben around.
I see what you did there. But yeah, Watch Dogs looking good.
Yeah, that's good.
Zoo Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon. That's a game.
And then with your Connect, let's have a bit of Zumba Fitness as well then, but World Party this time.
World Party
Zumba Fitness,
Edition.
Zumba Fitness : World Party.
I don't know who this game's for. Zumba classes. The reason Zumba classes are popular is because everyone does it together. Everyone looks like a dick, but everyone doesn't care. That's why they wear like bright colours and dance it up with each other. Why would you want to play Zumba on your own in your living room? I don't know why
Because
it's popular.
there might be a bunch of pikeys walking past and you think you're going to get some or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What is that game?
Zumba. It's like
No, I know what it is. I'm literally just like... Do you remember when it came with a strap?
You come with a strap for no reason. You tuck the fucking Wiimote into it.
Yeah.
Go
How about you
away,
just don't have
Zumba.
the fucking Wiimote? Like, oh, never mind.
So
Is there anything else to add with Microsoft?
Nope, that is the launch lineup. 23 games.
They did. Sorry, this is not obviously this isn't for launch, but they did mention a new Fable game for Xbox.
Oh,
One.
yes.
That they
Yeah,
did.
go
They
for
didn't
it.
show any gameplay, did they?
They showed
No.
a suspended cutscene.
Which looked pretty cool. But
Hmm.
what was the other Fable 4-player game they had on the old Xbox? 360?
Oh, that
Fable
little-
Heroes.
Yeah,
I
never
think
mind
it's just
that one.
the continuation of that, isn't it? That's what it looks like.
The way it works, it's going to be 5-player, right? So 4 players play as the sort of hero characters, and 1 player plays as like almost like a dungeon keeper, and he basically sets out where the monsters spawn, where the heroes have to go, and stuff. He plays the evil guy, so it's kind of like another Molyneux game. Do you remember Molyneux made Dungeon Keeper back in the day?
Mhm.
It's very similar to that, so it's that influence, but with Fable style combat for the other guys.
But Molyneux's not on Lionhead anymore, is he?
No,
What is
he's
he?
not. But I was just drawing the comparison because it's
That,
similar to another one of his old
That
projects.
5th player can use like the glass feature as well, can't they? to
Smart
play?
glass, yeah.
Smart glass. Glass smart.
Glass
Okay.
smart.
Glass.
So that is a thing. I didn't think it sounded good, to be honest. The reason I liked Fable 1, and to a lesser extent Fable 2, is because they were good single-player action RPGs that I could get into and enjoy the story of. Fable
Good,
3...
it's a bit strong, but
Hmm,
carry on.
Well, don't
no,
forget.
Fable 1 was fantastic. I really
Yes.
liked Fable 1
It's
and its
good.
expansion. Yeah,
Fable
really,
2 was
really
just
good game.
I hated Fable 2.
Fable 2 wasn't as good, and Fable 3 was a joke, to be honest. I didn't even want to look at that Connect shit that they spawned not long ago.
Yeah, nobody's mentioned that.
Can't remember what
But
it's called.
Fable 1 HD is coming out
Journeyman.
soon.
What?
If you're an Xbox 360 owner, though, right? That's Xbox 360, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, they're doing a HD remake of the first one, which is nice. But yeah, it's going to be a while, I think, before you get to play a proper Fable again.
It is. Ah.
Hmm.
Oh well. So that was Microsoft's dealio about the Xbox One. Let's talk
Cool.
Sony and the things
Yay.
that they came out with at Gamescom.
I guess the most important thing about Sony is that they have their release date.
That was a thing.
Mhm.
Do
Yeah.
you guys all know the release date?
November.
29.
November
29.
15th in the
November
States.
15 and yeah, there you go.
So when's the Xbox out in England, the UK?
Still no date, right?
It's
Okay,
not
is
coming out.
That's November as well, isn't it?
Well, we keep hearing November 23rd, and last week we were discussing how we thought that was all but settled, but they don't seem to be confirming it. Maybe they wanted Sony to talk first.
Well,
Maybe
they-
it's out next week.
They were always saying that from the start. Microsoft was saying they were going to let Sony announce the date first, and I think that's got everything to do with the fact that everything they've announced first, Sony has managed to twist against them and make them look shit. So,
Yeah.
That's true.
even at the Sony press conference here, did you watch it? Did you guys see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I
What
saw the
happened?
dig. I posted the
They
dig. on
passed
our
off a
Facebook
comment like, unlike
Yeah.
some people that get it wrong most of the time or something. Or
Oh, we've been consistent or something.
He says we're consistent and we don't change, and we tell you what it is, and we just keep going. But
Which-
yeah, I posted it on the Facebook page.
To be honest, I thought maybe was a step too far. It seemed kind of petty that time. At E3, I was all for it. I was like, good. But Microsoft have changed their position for the better. They've bettered their position and given people a better deal. So taking a dig at them for that, it's not cool.
It's healthy competition.
It's a bit of banter.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was saying. I was on Twitter earlier talking about this as well, and like, I love it because you might actually get a good fucking console from both of them now, and you might get great games from both of them because they're challenging each other.
That's true. Yeah. Competition's good for everyone except them, right?
You know, I think Microsoft might have got caught with their trousers down. I think they may have underestimated Sony based on the PS3, and that's why they're having to backtrack on all this. They probably thought that Sony were going to play suit and go with the whole DRM and all that, and then they decided no. And then Microsoft like, oh shit, well we don't have a choice now.
Well, they did, didn't they? That wasn't that like the whole thing. Like, didn't they say they were going to plan and do this damn same thing, but the big campaign, no DRM and stuff.
No,
Sony listened, didn't they? No.
They say that. That's the way they spun it. Really, I think they looked at the pre-order numbers for the Xbox One after that announcement and all the bullshit that happened, and they were like, "Nope, that ain't happening. We need to get that out now." Like, I don't think the campaign had anything to do with it. I think their bottom line had everything to do with it.
Well, either way, that's still good. Like, they saw that no one wants that.
Man.
But I think the upper hand's still with Sony. I think they still got the momentum, and I think their point was that Microsoft are doing. I think they kind of had to say something because Microsoft have done all these backtracking, and people are most probably cancelling PS4 pre-orders and going back to Microsoft, and they're like, well, hang on a sec. This has been our console from the off. I'm probably just trying to remind people or try to convince people to stay with them instead. Because as you guys said, with all these announcements, you've started considering Xbox Ones again. But
I was always going to get one, even with the DRM. I wasn't going to buy it at full price at launch, but I was always going to end up getting one because there's going to be too many good games on it that I want to play that are exclusive to it.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll end up buying it when all those games are out. And maybe a little bit cheaper. But I'm not going to get it for at least 2 years, I think.
Well, Microsoft have been making a big push recently. You remember seeing that about the whole indie game thing, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them come out and show any indie games at all yet, though. They haven't been on display. They've just been saying, we've got this new storefront where we'll do editor's choices and stuff. Like, show us the games that you're going to put on it. Sony at their press conference showed off another 15 exclusive indie games, or timed exclusive at least, indie titles that are going to show up on their store first. One of them is Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy coming to Vita and PS3 and 4, I think.
Yeah, that game looks good. I'm going to get it on the Vita.
Apparently, most of them are going to have cross-buy as well. So you buy it for one, you get it for all your consoles.
Awesome.
Good.
I'm happy with that.
That's good. That's a good way to do it because that's. I mean, did the Guacamelee? Did they do that with that recently?
They had cross-save, but not cross-buy. I was a little upset that Dragon's Crown doesn't have cross-buy as well.
Hotline Miami had cross-buy, didn't it? Yeah.
Hotline Miami 2 was one of the games they announced today. That's awesome.
I need to get playing number 1. I've really been looking forward to playing it. I just haven't got around to it yet. I was happy to see it on PlayStation 3.
Another massive one was the fact that they announced that PlayStation 4 is going to have Minecraft.
Oh.
And the Vita as well is going to have Minecraft.
Yeah, the Vita is going to get Minecraft as well.
All 3 of them. So I had my games pre-ordered for launch, and I was just happy to stay with one controller. But now the other half insists on an extra controller and Minecraft because we can sink 10 hours of time into that game.
Yeah, well, that game is literally as big as your imagination, right? It's one of those games where if you can think of something to do, you can do it. That's the beauty of it. So
I just can't wait. It's one of the things I miss about the Xbox 360, and it's the biggest part of me that's gone now. That game's now the console's gone out of my house. It's just like fuck, I'm missing Minecraft.
Well, the killer thing about Minecraft is it's so relaxing to play. Like, if you want to just have a wind down and cool off, just play some Minecraft, and it will just take your mind off everything. It's such a good game. I love it.
They can peel off if they're trying to charge 50 quid for it, though.
That's not going to happen. It's going to be downloadable, obviously. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I will get it downloaded.
It's going to be awesome.
I was just going to say, for the Vita, was anyone else really excited that Borderlands 2 is coming to it?
Oh my.
That's so cool.
So, did you hear the rumoured story of this?
No,
Right.
Is it not announced?
So no, it did get announced, but oh shit, who was it? Randy Pitchford, right, was on Up at Noon, the IGN show hosted by Greg Miller, and Greg Miller started speaking to him, saying, "How about you bring Borderlands 2 to the Vita?" Right, and then they had some crack on Twitter, and Greg Miller retweeted Randy Pitchford to Shuhei, right, and then Shuhei said, that sounds like a good idea, but oh shit, the other dude with the blonde hair and glasses who was at the E3 event, you know that guy, Adam something.
Adam Sessler.
No, not that guy.
I know.
The Sony exec, I forgot his name. I'll put it in the description. He said, well, he's the guy to talk to, and then Pitchford started talking to him, and they were tweeting pictures, and then it happened.
Yeah,
how crazy
actually,
is that?
It's
That's
funny.
really cool.
I remember reading that apparently that the devs were like, this might be a bit of a problem. We might not be able to do it, and Sony were like egging them on and go, well, what do you need help with? And they really pushed for it to happen.
Yeah.
So
I forget which other studio is working with Gearbox on it. It's another dev that's
2K.
made something. Which one?
Well, it's 2K Games and Gearbox with the initial, isn't it? Or am I thinking of something else?
2K's the publisher, isn't it?
Just publisher.
There's another developer who's already made a game for the Vita, is helping them with the port. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head though. Again, I'll put that in the description if I can. So, speaking of the Vita though, guys, the price has been dropped. Do you guys know how much it's been dropped to?
Yeah, this is something that we already had the Vita in the running order for this week prior to Gamescom. Something Gianni wanted to talk about would have been the Mega Pack, and we'll get to that in a minute, so we can compare that. But the Vita price drop now is going to list it at $199 or 199 euros. You convert that on xe.com. Obviously, that's the literal conversion, but it won't be how they price it. That would be £169.66 or something, so it's 170 quid. Now, how much is that Mega Pack with the console anyway? Like 172 at the moment on Amazon.
Really?
So
it's already lower than that.
It just seemed bizarre that we're already going to want to talk about this, and then they drop it anyway. And I was saying earlier in the day on Twitter to Johnny and Nick as well that I'd like to see the price drop, and then that might be the reason I buy one within the next week or so. But I don't know. I don't know if it's enough of a drop for me to get on it yet. Maybe I would have gone with a remodel instead. Maybe that would have taken my money.
I don't think it needs a remodel though, man. I think the Vita's perfect. I love it so much.
Yeah, I'm with Ben. Like, it doesn't need a remodel.
It doesn't.
No, they were on about dropping the organic LED, and that would have saved massive costs.
That's that's the worst thing they could have
But
done.
that's one of the
that's the
best
beauty of
features,
the Vita.
that's why it looks so nice.
Everything looks so nice. Yeah, like I'm so excited to get Dragon's Crown on it because just of the artwork and how the screen's gonna make it more pop. Pop more.
It does make everything look nicer. Disgaea 3 looks better on the Vita than it ever did on the PS3.
Yeah, that screen's fantastic.
But if they say 150 when you buy your PlayStation 4 at the same time, I might take the money along.
Ooh, I'm expecting a bundle to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They keep talking about a bundle for the two because they want you to have both.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't just £100 more to get a Vita in with it as well.
But then I definitely would be buying one at launch with it. If it was £100, you'd get my money now. But if it's 150, then I can. Yeah, I think about taking the money if it was 150 or below.
How much is the 3DS XL?
170.
Well, I suppose it's price the same as that, and then they've won. Like, if you had a choice between a 3DS XL and a Vita,
right now,
most people
3DS XL I take.
Yeah,
it depends on the gamer, doesn't it?
It's got too many games on it.
The 3DS has a very strong library right now, and it's only getting better.
Oh, isn't the open beta for the Killzone Mercenaries for the Vita open up this weekend?
Is that for Plus members? I
I
actually did want to speak to you about this, Johnny, because I was talking to Gianni about it the other day, and he's not interested in Mercenary, but you're still getting it, right?
Yeah, I'm really interested in it.
Good, because I need someone to play online with that game, and we should definitely play it online, man. I'm quite excited. I've been waiting for a good shooter for the Vita after the wank that was Resistance. Even though I had fun playing it online, this one just looks like a console experience.
No. I'll get Killzone on the PS4.
Well, as long as we can play that together at some point as well. It's going to have to wait, though, because Battlefield does take priority at launch.
I'm getting, I'll get them both, but I want to play Battlefield with you guys more than I would Killzone. Although I enjoyed Killzone 2 with you on the PS3.
Mm.
That was good. That was good online. That was.
It was, but then we
Very
played
strong.
it. We played it the opening weekend when stuff was still a bit broken, and you could spam as many turrets down as you wanted.
Yeah, something like that.
That was
Why
awesome.
not? But yeah.
Sorry about
So
that.
the Vita Mega Pack. Gianni, have you got the list of the games that because you've been playing them as well now, haven't you?
Yeah, quickly, I just wanted to say, apparently Sony mentioned there'll be over 900 games available for the Vita by the end of this year, which sounds a bit unlikely because I don't even think there's probably just over 100 at the moment.
Yeah, he's talking about PlayStation 1 as well and so on.
And
okay, so that's all of
PlayStation
it.
Mobile as well, the mobile games.
Yeah, he's talking about, he's a bit crafty with that one.
Okay, but they also said 150 would be built from the system up, so excluding the PlayStation Mobile ones. They said the Football Manager will be one of them, which I'm actually quite excited for. Lego Marvel and Batman Origins. But yeah, it seems Sony are pushing these mega packs now because there's going to be 3 more confirmed for coming to Europe. And the rumor is
They're
Friday.
out on Friday, aren't they? Yeah.
What are they containing this time?
I think that's still to be announced because I haven't read much about them at all. But it's going to be a similar sort of thing. But going back to the one that's available at the moment, or I should say before this recording goes out. Right. So I bought the mega pack. I got it for a good deal, about £25, maybe a bit cheaper. Recommended retail price I think is about 30. So for £30 you get an 8 gig memory card and 10 games. Now I immediately downloaded Little Big Planet. Wipeout I already had, but MotorStorm I also downloaded as well, and Ratchet and Clank, and the others I just ignored. So I decided, as I said earlier, deleted everything on my Vita, downloaded them all for the 8 gig. They all fit apart from Little Big Planet. So you get the memory stick, and only 9 games out of the 10 actually fit on there. But it's not a problem. Little Big Planet is a great game, so you probably have that on there. And the others, oh my god, they are complete and utter shit. Right. So ignoring the whole value thing, it's whether or not these games are worth your time.
Yeah.
Right. Rotating Octopus is just a bit annoying. Hungry Giraffe is just rubbish. Lemmings.
What?
No, honestly, I was playing.
Are they really games, or are you making those up?
I wish I was. And Rotating Octopus actually has a much longer game. The game name, it's ridiculous. It's like the HD Adventures or something like that. Hungry Giraffe is a HD remix of a PlayStation Mobile game or Mini or something like that. They are not worth your time. Lemmings is just Lemmings. If you haven't played it now, then well, you're probably too young. Ratchet and Clank Size Matters.
It's the PSP game. I played through that. It was awesome.
Yeah, solid title. Probably a bit dated now. And you're playing it on the Vita. You probably wanted a HD, a bit of a spruce up. But that's just a port. Equilibrium. Now, have any of you played this game?
Equilibrium is the Stickman game, which is all about perspective, right? What you see is what's real.
That was a PSP game, wasn't it?
Was, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this is the it's about ecosystems.
Okay, then I'm thinking of a completely different game.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
I've played that game. That's not. I played it for like a little thing, like a little while. And it's like, yeah.
I don't. That game looks like one of the most confusing one of the most pain in the ass games ever because you put something onto this. It's like you're playing God basically, and it tells you to plant a tree. So you plant a tree, and it says that you need to plant this. So you plant something else. And so you plant all these things, and then you start putting in animals. So you put one animal down, and it says, "Oh, you need another tree because this ecosystem's going to fail." So you put another tree in, and then and it's just like a constant balancing act. I played for about half an hour, and
What's the
bored.
end game? What's it all going towards? What's the ultimate end game of that game?
I don't think there is. I think it's one of those where it almost sounds like. Actually, I'm not going to say anything sweeping because I know nothing about the game. It is.
From what you're describing, it sounds like an iOS game without the microtransactions.
There are microtransactions.
Oh, fucking hell! Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It feels like it was designed for something else. It was really, it didn't feel right on the Vita. It just felt horrible. I think you could play it on PS3 as well, actually. I don't know, but anyway, that's not worth your time either. Frobisher says, now this game really pisses me off. It's like somebody's looked at the WarioWare games and gone, we want something like that, but it's just terribly executed. It's just a terrible game. Played a demo. It is really annoying, and the worst thing is, you're playing it, and I don't see how it ends. I had like 5 or 6 puzzles, and then they just kept coming round again. I don't really know the whole point unless you're supposed to try and beat your time. So it's like loads of little mini games. But yeah, played a demo. It's a horrible game. Little Deviants. Did any of you guys play it on the Vita, like the demo or anything?
I had the game, yeah. I had it. I struggled with it.
What did you think of the game?
Oh, I couldn't be bothered with it. I struggled. So like, it's too many different things, and it's like when Wii Play came out and the Wii launched, and it was a way to teach you the controls, and the Wii Sports was the same. It was a way to get you used to it. I kind of felt that about Little Deviants, but it just didn't fucking do it right.
It's the worst application of a touchscreen I've ever come across. The trackpad, like. If it was like on Little Big Planet, you have a little dot that follows your finger, so when you're touching the back of the screen, you can kind of see where it is. But it just felt inconsistent, and again, I did not like that game in the slightest. So out of all of these, yeah, the ones I originally downloaded, Ratchet and Clank, MotorStorm, Wipeout, and Little Big Planet, they're out of the 10, they're the only ones that are worth your time.
How much is the Mega Pack altogether?
Well, RRP is about 30 quid. If you were going to buy all those games, and I don't know why you would, but if you were to buy them all, it'd cost you about 78 quid. When I priced it up.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that for the price, even with the fluff, £15 for Little Big Planet and £15 for Wipeout is totally worth it.
Well, don't forget.
8 gig memory card.
And the memory card, yeah.
And a memory card. This is the thing. It's the best value for money because Little Big Planet itself on the PlayStation Store, when I wrote these prices up, was 30 quid. So I got the memory card for 25. So if I shop around a bit, so you're already quids in there. Wipeout is £12 on the store. MotorStorm was a £5, and Little Deviants. Ratchet and Clank's about £6.50. So for those games, totally worth it. Just don't install the others. There's just no point.
Sound advice, man.
I'm going to say, though, Little Planet is one of the best Vita games you can get. I still love that game.
Fantastic.
Really, really good. Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, some consumer advice. There you go. I mean, so those mega packs, I'm really intrigued because I want more memory on my Vita, and the problem has always been the cost of the memory stick. But if Sony are willing to throw in 6 to 10 games, they've got my money, because especially if there's one killer app on there.
That leads into they did announce the memory cards are dropping in price.
Yes.
Which is good, because I could do with getting a massive one, to be honest.
Well, they said here, this is on MCV at the moment, they said bundles will be available to purchase standalone for €35 with an 8 gig memory card. So, alright, let's say 30 quid for an 8 gig memory card, plus whatever game. So, yeah, I mean, said with one game on there, I mean, they've said Sony failed to confirm if Borderlands 2 or Fez will be any of those titles, but I have a feeling Limbo might end up on one of them, actually, because that's quite a recent addition to the Sony store.
When they showed it and they spoke about it on the back screen, I think one of them showed it saying like action pack, another one said like fighter pack. I couldn't see the other one, so there might be like a port of a Street Fighter on one or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
could be good. So let's talk about GTA 5 online. Let's just gloss over it quick and see if we can mull together some information, because I watched that trailer and I'll admit I was impressed. It was impressive, but I didn't understand anything because the voiceover was basically glamorizing every single thing she said, and I ended up with not much more information than I went in with. So, what did you guys take from it? I kind of got that there might be a persistent progression system, but she didn't really say that. So,
yeah, the world's going to be progressive. So it's going to start off like the GTA 5, just map pretty much, but it is going to be like persistent, and it will sort of change over time. Apparently, like with like sort of updates and stuff like that. That's the impression I got. Is that what you guys come away with as well? It's going to be a sort of like updated and with like more content, more missions, I guess you can do with your friends.
I'm just impressed. This looks like a whole game in one. Like they've given you 2 games on a disc for the price of one here.
That's what, yeah.
And
I mean,
it's time that you're going to just spend. You're going to spend time doing nothing, and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to spend time doing loads of things, and just going to be blown away.
I just can't wait until we do our first bank heist together.
Yeah, I love doing a bank heist.
I'll be your Skype support because I don't think I'll have the game.
Fucking get it.
Look, I'm gonna get it, but I won't get it at launch because it coincides with Kingdom Hearts HD, and that's happening first for me. Yeah,
both.
Well, I don't have time for both, man. I can't. I'll have to, because I'll have stuff on then, and I want to get all nostalgic over Kingdom Hearts again. So I'll play that first. I'll probably have it beat in a week or so, and then I'll move on to GTA. But
yeah, you better.
Yeah, that whole like you get your garage, you put your cars in there, you can like have a little showroom for them.
The bit that I thought was the coolest bit in the trailer was where he ramped the dirt bike off the mountain, and then like ejected a parachute, and then it panned up, and there was like 12 of them parachuting together.
Yeah,
that was
that was very impressive.
I just want to ramp my dirt bike up your hill, and then I just lost.
Fucking hell.
I lost where I was going with that because it just became filthy straight away. Sorry.
That's fine. I love it when it's filthy, man. Jamie.
Yeah?
You said there was wonderful 101 drama on Twitter. I was not privy to this. So can you give us the details?
So, in a nutshell, Hideki Kamiya, one of the lead designers on Wonderful 101 and at Platinum Games, he's done a bit of a Phil Fish this week. The reviews have been coming in for the Wonderful 101, and they've been sort of like 7 out of 10s, and he's not very happy with that. He's really pissed off, and a lot of fans are writing to him saying, oh, what do you think about this being the reason, and what do you think about that? And he just went mental, and one of his tweets is all capitals. It's just like, score, 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 score. Why don't you drop the fucking score and just try it for yourself, like that? I thought, whoa. And other people are just like, what do you think about this? He's like, do you think I give a shit? But he's just got mental on there.
I love how you say it slowly just to account for his Japanese accent, man. Do you think I give a shit?
No, I didn't do that. I was just getting...
You racist bastard.
I didn't say, I used to follow that guy on Skype.
Yeah.
He's crazy all the time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like that's just what he's like normally. Like, because he does like every day he does like ask me like questions over Twitter, and like every other tweet it's like retweets, read my fucking posts, like, because you know you can search on Twitter and stuff, like, and go through your previous tweets.
Why aren't I following this guy?
Stop asking me. I've already answered this.
That's amazing.
The guy is literally insane.
Oh.
But I don't, like, the thing is, a lot of them are saying that the game's too hard, and they're putting that down as the reason that they're giving it a bad score. That's really bad play of them. If the game's too hard, then you're not fucking good enough. Like, if a game's too hard for me, I might not be able to play it for a while, and I might be a little bit disappointed in myself. But that reminds me of games like Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. Like, they are too hard for me, but that doesn't stop them being fantastic games.
It's different though, right? Because those games are 100% skill based. So the only reason you fail is because you're not good enough yet. But if you keep at it, you will get good enough.
Well, yeah, that's the idea, isn't it? You're improving your skills. You're getting better as a player, not your in-game character, but you yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You're learning the way things work. And you always talk about Dark Souls, how you're supposed to die repeatedly, and that's your way of learning. It's just their mechanic in that game. And the Wonderful 101, it's Platinum Games. We knew it was going to be a challenge anyway. You know?
Yeah,
that you
all
knew
of
it
their
was going to
games
be a
are.
fast-paced action. Like, they've made some cracking games, and I mean, Famitsu have gone on there and they've given it a 39 out of 40.
Fucking hell.
There you go. I mean, it's one or the other, isn't it? Because they're obviously a group of people that love to play hardcore and just go for it, and it suits them, so that's why they're giving it that score. But the other reviews are going to be things like The Guardian, who like go home and fucking beat their children and read their paper all evening. That's all they do.
Fucking hell, man.
Oh, God.
Controversial,
Wow.
man. Shots fired
No.
at The Guardian.
Not The Guardian specifically. But newspapers,
Other shit papers,
in
maybe.
general. Maybe there was a fly on their son's face, and they just used the paper.
This is
But no, I get angry because I don't like review scores. So
yeah,
it's
I
hard
was about to say it's back to that again, where like review scores aren't what matter. It's the text of the review, man. You need to read the review to see how that person felt, because they might still really enjoy the game despite giving it that score. The score isn't everything, you know?
No, well that's it. It can hide a lot, and that just shows that it was too hard, therefore I've knocked a couple of stars off of it.
I mean, I'll give you an
That's not
example.
something you give stars on. That's something you write a fucking essay about. And
I played Front Mission Evolved not long ago, right?
Yep.
And if I was to give that game a numerical score, I'd probably give it a 4 or a 5 out of 10, right? But I fucking loved that game. That game was really fun, and I would recommend anyone to play it because it was a good crack, man. That's the flavor of my review. If I wrote one, would say that about how much I enjoyed it, but because of the technical limitations and stuff of that game, I wouldn't be able to give it a higher score. And I think a lot of the reviews in general are that way. You really get like the actual opinion of the guy reviewing it or the lady reviewing it. Don't want to be sexist. If you read their review, not just look at the score and then immediately go and complain about the score. But whatever, man, it's going to start into a whole big fucking debate, and I don't want to get into it.
I still think it's lazy journalism. That's what it is. It's lazy journalism, and it's basically
it's not at all.
It could be the difference between a game succeeding and one failing. You know,
it's the industry itself, man. A lot of review sites and people that do review games actually don't like giving numerical scores, but if you don't, you're not classed as a professional review source. So if you don't give out scores, you aren't listed on Metacritic, and the publishers and that don't take you seriously because you don't affect their Metacritic score.
Yeah.
The entire system is flawed, man.
I mean, it's hard as well. Like, you see a poster for a game on a bus stop, and you'll see across the bottom like 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. But like, you can't exactly write a big piece across the poster. It would just say that would did great, that were, and that would be it across the bottom.
All right, yeah, I get that, but again, that's just for marketing purposes. That does that does nothing for consumers.
I'm not trying to defend it. Obviously, I'm against the whole idea, but yeah, I'm just giving you.
Well, that actually explains a lot, because Thomas Was Alone, Metacritic's critic score 77 out of 100, Edge 7 out of 10, GameSpot 7.5 out of 10, IGN 8, and then Destructoid gave it a 9 out of 10. So you'd read that and you'd be like, oh, it's not worth my money then. I'll probably wait until it drops in price.
At what point does a 7 or an 8 mean it's not worth my money? Anything 7 and up is worth playing. Anything 6 and up is worth a look.
To me, well, if you're going to go by that logic, an 8 out of 10 and above would be, for full price, okay, fine. Anything below an 8, and you'll probably think, well, is it worth me buying full price? And now, this isn't me saying the reasons why I never bought Thomas Was Alone. I'm just saying, people will look at 77 out of 100 and go, well, it's all right, but there's other things I can buy, or so you wouldn't buy it.
Therein lies the problem, though, right? Because you're working on a 10 out of 10 scale, but 7 is average, 7 is the medium. That is the number where like average games that don't excel in anything just get a 7, which is ridiculous because they should get a 5. It should be in the middle, right?
The tipping point, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Success.
7 is average, 8 is above average, 9 is really good, and 10 is when they've been paid a lot of money to give it that score. I'm joking. That's not a thing. But anyway, I didn't really want to drag on review scores much longer because we've been running for quite a long time. So I want to move things along to new releases this week. So this week we have Splinter Cell Blacklist, The Wonderful 101, and Saints Row 4. Now,
Jamie's.
You bought The Wonderful 101. I think you gave a recommendation for it last week, though, right?
Well, no, I played the demo last week before we did the recording. Then it's in the post, so I'll have it for launch, and I'll be playing it before we do next week's podcast. So I'll be able to give you a bit of a rundown. A lot of comments on its length.
People saying it's sort of 4 hours, right?
Yeah, but then it's gonna have repeat play value, isn't it? It's gonna have. I mean, the trailer alone is 4 hours long, so I'd like to see where the gameplay actually comes in. See where you take over.
It's funny. I've just Googled it, and I've seen the box art, and the first thing that came to mind was Beautiful Joe, and yet one of the first things they say on Wikipedia was one of the guys who worked on Beautiful Joe.
Well, yeah, because
it's going to be one of the art lead designs, isn't it? Yeah.
Beautiful Joe was made by most of the people that work at Platinum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Beautiful Joe, I had the DS game. That was good.
That's such a good game. Anyway, sorry.
The GameCube one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the finished article and giving it a go. Like I say, next week I would probably complete it, and I'll give you a better rundown on it. But it's my pick of the three this week. Although, to be honest, all three of those games are strong enough to purchase.
Yeah. So Splinter Cell Blacklist. Have you guys seen much about this? I've been completely out of the loop on this one. I've not looked at any information about it because I've had no intention of buying it.
It's gone under the radar.
Thing is,
yeah,
it's got a really fun. It's got a really fun multiplayer, and I would buy it for the multiplayer. The Spies versus Mercs is incredibly fun.
I tell you what I'm doing with these two games, Splinter Cell and Saints Row. I'm going to wait until games do their half-price Christmas sale because I know at least one of those is in there.
Yeah, just wait for Christmas. These games will be a lot cheaper, and I think I'll be doing the same.
Saints Row 4 is my pick. There you go. Even though I've heard some mixed things about this one, mainly the fact that they give you superpowers in the game really early on, and it pretty much negates all of the cars and vehicles because you just don't need them because you can run faster than cars and you can run up buildings. Basically, you can move like the guy from Prototype in that game. So you never need a car. So the whole car customization is completely written off. But I also don't care because this game is supposed to be completely chock full of sci-fi references and direct Mass Effect parodies, which I'll fucking love. And it's Saints Row, and I really like Saints Row. So that will be my recommendation this week.
Seeing the trailers on the TV, it looks insane. Like it just, I haven't seen any trailer footage for what I have seen on adverts on the TV. It just looks crazy.
People moan about Saints Row right now that they liked Saints Row 2 the most, and they want another game like Saints Row 2. But my opinion is they only got better as they got crazier. The best bits in Saints Row 2 were the bits that were crazy. And Saints Row 3 was just balls to the wall manic bullshit, man. And I loved it for it. It was the best part of that game is just how crazy and over the top it went. And this game looks like it's cranking it up to 11.
Does anybody remember number one? It was dreadful.
I was going to say actually, but is it me or do they have some sort of the story continues into the next game almost? Because I haven't played Saints Row 2 and I've only played a bit of Saints Row 3, but from the sounds of things.
There's a bit of a spoiler for number 4 if you haven't played the others.
Yeah, there is a bit of a spoiler. But I mean, it's Saints Row, man. You don't really have to worry about spoilers in this game, to be honest. This game is so crazy that anything people tell you is just going to be like, well, that just sounds like crazy bullshit. And it is, but that is the story of Saints Row. It is crazy bullshit. There is the end of Saints Row 2, you win, you take over the city and stuff. And at the beginning of Saints Row 3, you've got so massive, you've got your own clothing line, your global celebrities and stuff, through the events of Saints Row 2. And Saints Row 3 pretty much plays out like that, your big celebrities, people in the street. You'll be beating someone to death with a fucking giant dildo sword, and someone will come up and ask you for an autograph. That's just how that game is, man. It's crazy. And this one,
they reference it when you're robbing the bank, isn't it, or something right at the beginning
in the intro mission? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying, like, oh, I wonder if they'll give me an autograph as you're, like, robbing the bank, which is quite cool. This one, though, like, the Earth has been invaded by aliens, and you've been plugged into this, like, matrix. So basically the entire game takes place inside the matrix, and that's why you have superpowers and stuff.
I see.
I want to play it, man. I really want to play it. So that's on my buy list.
We live in the Matrix.
It looks awesome. Is there anything you guys wanted to add?
I'm so excited for Minecraft. It's unbelievable. I think I've just lost the ability to really do anything else right now. I'm kind of like in some sort of cumgasm.
You're excited for Minecraft?
Yeah, he's still on Minecraft.
I just we talked about it half an hour ago, and I'm still just sat here clenching my bum. I'm ready for it.
Get on your laptop, dude.
Dude,
I'm not. No, because Ben broke my laptop with SNES porn.
I didn't know the weird hentai SNES ROMs were on there, alright?
He did.
Quickly, we forgot to mention Notch's new game has been cancelled.
Wait, which
I
one?
don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah, fucking hell. Sorry, Johnny.
No, it's alright. I mean, I knew there was something missing, but I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, basically, he said something on the lines of there was too much hype around it, and he just said, I don't want it to come out and then people get disappointed with it. He said that was the beauty of Minecraft.
Was that the space game?
It's called like XOIEC or something. He said that he's had enough of the code breakers and he doesn't have the energy to deal with people anymore.
Really?
He just doesn't have the. He said he just doesn't have the energy to keep up with.
He's made his millions off Minecraft, so YOLO.
Well, no, he said he'd rather work on smaller projects, and that's what they're going to do. Smaller projects where people don't know about it until it's basically released. Because he's always said he's actually really surprised at the money he's made from Minecraft.
But why should he? Why should he be allowed to work on something that no one knows about? Why should he keep it a secret, eh? Don't the press have the right to know everything he's doing at any time?
Oh yeah.
He's just a bastard, man, clearly. If he's not going to tell the press what he's doing, who does he think he is?
I see what you're doing.
Well, this is the best thing I've heard, and it's really refreshing. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less, but he said it was much easier to have grand plans when no one knew who I was. The gaming world doesn't need more under-delivering visionaries, which I can agree with.
Fair play.
That there's sound logic there. At least he's saying he could probably make millions from this game and it'd be shit. And he's cancelled it. He's like, right, I'm not doing it anymore. I want to work on smaller stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's absolutely fine. That's his decision to make, man. He didn't kickstart it or anything like that, right? It was just something that he was going to work on. And if it wasn't turning out the way he wanted it to turn out, if he didn't feel like it was going to live up to the expectation that people had for it, then it's completely up to him if he wants to cancel it, man. Sure, people will be a bit disappointed, and you're right, people would have bought it regardless because it's Notch's new game, but at the end of the day,
this is the thing.
I respect him for making that decision.
I think the point is, what would people be disappointed at? He's cancelled a game that they all know about.
Just cue the furry-faced teenage boys getting drunk on their mum's bathwater now, sending them death threats.
Get drunk on a mum's bathwater is the best thing ever.
Oh, sorry, that was the other thing he said. He said I was streaming code and someone copied all the code and made their own version of it, and that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, this is the thing, right? This is why I was fucking bitching the other week about the press always wanting to know what's going on. Oh, how dare they keep their secrets and stuff? Because stuff like this happens. Like, just let them make their fucking games. You don't. They'd be all
like, he wrote some of this code on the toilet. He must be a sex offender. I'm putting this on the front page.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't happen in any other industry, really. Save maybe the movie industry where people are constantly wanting to see shots from the shooting. Like, I don't get it. I don't know why. I don't want to know about your game like 4 years in advance. I don't know why the press want to know about these games 4 years in advance. You only really want to know about them maybe a few months before launch. Tell me about your game, show me why I should have it, and then tell me it's coming in a couple of months.
Yeah, Crytek,
Final
tell us that
Fantasy
there's
versus
a...
Yeah, Versus 13 is the worst one.
Yeah.
Because I was young and naive and bought my PS3 assuming that Final Fantasy Versus 13 was going to come out quick. Now it's a PS4 game. And
Don't forget, if we go through the
before
games...
the PS3's launch, that game was announced.
Alright, if we do this, the most highly anticipated games, or that have been in development for how long, and it turns out to be flops. Was it Too Human that you bought, Ben, that you said was absolutely shit?
God.
Especially a PlayStation 1 game.
Let's not talk about Too Human because
Right.
I feel like that guy is doing right by everyone right now. Was his name Dennis Dyack with his new Shadow of the Eternals? And I don't need to start calling him a lying bastard, useless prick for Too Human.
so Too Human. Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem, that was just I wish that game hadn't come out because that game had become a legend.
Yep.
And then Gearbox saved it, and they did save it, let's be honest, because it never would have been released any other way. But it could have done with just going down as the legendary piece
let's
of
be honest,
wherever.
the jokes were better than the game, weren't they?
They should have dropped the game and just done a Dolph Lundgren film. That would have filled everybody out.
What
The
else
Last
was there?
Guardian as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so worried about that game. Mainly because I was so excited for it a few years ago when it got announced. Was it 4 years ago or something?
Yeah, looks really, really cool. So excited for it, but now they don't have that new game that
Fable
looks like
3?
Wind Waker Cross Ico for the PS4.
Yes, they do. I forget whose game that is actually. It's a sequel.
That's good though.
It's a team that recently released quite a popular indie game. The sequel to Dear Esther also got announced to be coming to PS3 in the same interview. So in the same press conference, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're just rambling now at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and end, despite the fact that we could probably go on.
Yeah, we could.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered.
It's been a long one.
Everything.
All right, sweet. Well, if you want to get in contact with us, you can follow us on Twitter at gsc_games. If you want to get in contact with any of us individually, our Twitter tags will be down in the description. And thank you for listening to this rambling podcast again.
Pleasure.
Thank you
Sorry,
very much.
well, I was talking to the listeners, but you're welcome to it as well, Jamie.
You fucking ruined them. I'm saying it's a pleasure to do it for them, you twat. Absolute cock.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.